Welcome again to Cottage Talk. I am Russ Goldman. This is my match reaction show, my 5 takeaways from Fulham's 5-0 victory against Nottingham Forest at Craven Cottage Wednesday night. Wow, what a victory. I look forward to sharing my 5 takeaways coming up. As always, please do subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. It does help other Fulham supporters find us. Okay, before I go through my 5 takeaways, just some basic thoughts on the match. The first 20 to 30 minutes, it was a pretty even match. There was really no flow to it until Fulham scored that first goal. And then the floodgates opened. Fulham really just turned on the pressure from that point. Obviously, the first goal, great setup for Alex Iwobi from Willian. Tom Kearney was involved. Just fantastic play. But they followed that right up with a second goal. Set up again, beautiful play. Eventually it gets to Pereira, who sets up Raul Jimenez for the second goal. And all these situations, Fulham did a wonderful job creating these opportunities. Fulham could have been up even more. They could have won this match by more than 5 goals. That just tells you how dominant they were. So I know there's going to be a lot of talk about Steve Cooper, so I'm just going to share my thoughts on this. I don't think, in my opinion, I would not sack this manager. I think he's a quality manager. I think, like I mentioned before, there is this cottage industry to put pressure on the manager. A lot of media outlets do this once a manager is starting to have problems in that season, to put him under pressure. Then the fans get involved. The next thing you know, the owners sacks the manager. In this case, do not sack the manager. I don't want to see Steve Cooper get the sack. Fulham with a better team here, and they are under a lot of pressure right now, Nottingham Forest. They could very easily right now be in a relegation battle the rest of the season, okay? They are struggling. But I think they have the right manager. I think Steve Cooper, unfortunately, has been given a bad hand. Too many players. How much of that is on Steve Cooper? I don't watch Nottingham Forest each and every week, but I do want a manager to have a chance to succeed. They stuck by him last year. Please stick by him again this season. I know that there are Nottingham Forest supporters that just want him gone. They just want change. In my opinion, for change's sake, no, back the manager. I think Nottingham Forest, in the end, will be a better side if they stick with Steve Cooper. We'll see if they end up doing that. They might sack him, but I don't think that they should. But with all that said, and there's a lot of talk, and even I said this, that Nottingham Forest were poor on the night. Okay, but I think by saying that, and I'm going to take myself to task on that, I think by doing that, I am not giving Fulham enough credit. Fulham were fantastic on the night. So it takes 2 to tango. Were Nottingham Forest poor in this match? Yes. But Fulham made them look poor by their movement, by how they played from, I want to say, the 30th minute on. They were the dominant side. They took the goal and they ran with it. And there were questions before the match in the media. I saw it. How would Fulham react to this defeat to Liverpool? And in the very beginning stages, I wanted Fulham to play on the front foot. And I got to be honest with you, it took them a while to get going. It took them 30 minutes to get that opening goal. That was one of my keys to victory, was to be on the front foot and get that early goal. Well, they didn't get the early goal, but they got the first goal. And that's important. And the way that they acted ever since then really just showed me the direction Fulham are going in. And I'll be sharing more about that coming up. But let's start with number 5. And this is a shocker to me. Number 5 is this: Tosin and Bassey were your starting center backs. And it worked. Now, I've heard the argument, who were they going up against? Divock Origi and then Chris Wood. But they got the job done. And I love Tim Ream. I love everything that he's offered Fulham. But I want Bassey to be your left-sided center back, whether it's Tosin, whether it's Diop. That's to be determined. But I want Bassey to be your left center back. And I like the pairing of Tosin and Bassey. I think it worked very well. So that turned out to be a huge success in this match. Bassey looked very assured. He was moving the ball forward, doing some of the things that Tim Ream can do. So for me, I think this is a huge step in the right direction. The question will be, will Marco go back to Tim Ream against West Ham? I don't know. I want him to stick with Bassey as your left-sided center back, and whether it's Tosin or Diop, that's what I want. I think it's time that Tim Ream sat. That's just my opinion. I think this worked. That's why that's my number 5. Number 4, Jedi keeps proving me wrong. Number 4 is Anthony Robinson continues to just prove Russ Goldman wrong. Yes, he does. Some really good balls into the box. He's defending well. He's getting back. He was a two-way player along with Castagna. I, again, with my keys to victory, needed these two players. I thought it was key that they were two-way players as fullbacks, and they were. They both did their job. Jedi did his job. So congratulations to Anthony Robinson from building on the performance against Liverpool, and you took it to, I guess you could say, another level against Nottingham Forest. You just continued to be a force on the left-hand side that Fulham really need. They need you to be really just an elite left back, and you're working your way towards that. I will give you that credit. There have been some ups and downs with Anthony Robinson, but he continues to prove me wrong, and I'm very happy about that. Okay, let's go to number 3. And before I say this, the talk for me is, why are Fulham now scoring goals? There are several reasons. The improved play from Iwobi, you could say Jimenez, Pereira, now really just setting his teammates up. But I'm going to share one person that I think has actually been a very important piece to the puzzle. Number 3 is Tom Kearney. Seems to be a key component to Fulham's resurgence in scoring goals. Now, Kearney did not start against Liverpool, but he was a factor in that match. He was obviously a factor in the Wolves match, and now he's, I think, a huge factor in this match against Nottingham Forest. He is just a player that is a facilitator. At his age, in the role that he's asked to play, I think he plays it very well. And can you get better with age? I don't know, but Tom Kearney is playing at a very high level right now. And I think his play, his calmness, his ability to facilitate is really helping Fulham score these goals. So I want to give Kearney a lot of credit. He's not my man of the match, but he's on the list of honorable mentions because he is really making a difference. I think he is a key component to this resurgence of scoring goals. That's why that's my number 3. Number 2, Iwobi and Jimenez share man of the match for me. I'm not giving one man of the match. They're going to share it. I'm not having a hard time picking between the two of them. I think many will give it to Raul Jimenez for scoring 2 really nice goals, but I could say the same thing about Alex Iwobi. And I don't want to give it to either one of them because I think they should both share it. They both were extremely influential in this match. Iwobi, not just with his goals, but just his overall play just was immense. Jimenez, I think it's funny. Only time will tell. I think Fulham obviously still need to bring in another striker. But as I watch him play, I think he is getting more and more involved in Marco's style of play and making himself a nuisance. It might not have led to as many goals as we would like, but I think we're starting to reap the rewards of his hard work. I'm so happy for Raul Jimenez for both goals that he scored. The first goal, great goal. That was a striker's goal. The second goal, the back heel from him to score the goal, just that to me was just tremendous. So for me, full credit to Jimenez, but not just to him. I want to give it to Alex Iwobi. They need to share this. They were tremendous in this match. they're going to share man of the match for me. Coming up next to end this episode of Cottage Talk, I'm going to share with you my number one takeaway from this 5-0 victory for Fulham against Nottingham Forest. Okay, to end this show, I think this is a very good number one takeaway. Here it is. Number one, Fulham have turned the corner, so the Cons need to back Marco in January. That, to me, is the number one takeaway. I've said this before. I don't see Fulham in a relegation battle. I don't see it at all. They're sitting on 18 points. What do the Cons want to do the rest of the season? Do they just want to survive, or do they want to thrive? Marco signed a new deal with Fulham Football Club. Reward him in January with new players. I don't want to just survive. I want Fulham to thrive. They need, I'm going to say it, a first-class striker. I think they need another central midfielder to eventually be the heir apparent to Paulinho. I'm not letting Paulinho go if I'm Fulham until this summer, but I think you need to plan ahead. I could make an argument that you need another center back. Maybe you need another winger. There are places where you need to take your game to the next level. I was speaking to Tony Gold, and we were talking about this. What they need are 3 high-quality players to go with what they have. If you want to beat Liverpool, beat Chelsea, you need that quality to go with what you currently have. You absolutely do. If you look at Brighton, Hove Albion, you look at what's going on with Aston Villa, congratulations to both of them. They've added quality. Fulham should be able to add quality as well. FFP will be a factor in this, but there are ways to get high-quality players to Fulham Football Club in January, and I hope that they are extremely aggressive in making it happen, because if they do not make these moves, they will not be relegated. They won't be in a relegation battle, but they'll be comfortably mid-table. I don't want to be comfortably mid-table. The Fulham supporters don't deserve to be comfortably mid-table. Marco doesn't, his coaching staff, the players. None of us deserve comfortably mid-table. We deserve better than that. We absolutely do. And the only way this is going to happen is by investment in January, righting the wrongs that happened this summer. Now, I'll be the first to tell you that I might have gotten Iwobi wrong. I thought he was a good player. He now goes into the category, in my opinion, of Paulinho. They need 3 players in January of that level. And I think they can find them if they're creative enough to spend some money, but also find ways to bring in players. Maybe it's a player on loan, but who is a high-quality player. There are things that they can do to get those players in. Shahid and Tony, the 2 of you, do you want to thrive or do you just want to survive? I hope you want the former, because I remember, Mr. Khan, your interview with NBC Sports in 2018 before the beginning of the season, and you wanted to compete with the best teams in the world, which are in the Premier League. Okay? You have the opportunity to do that. You now have the platform. You have the managers. You have a base. Now add to the base by adding 3 quality players. Please back this manager by getting him what he needs to take Fulham to the next level. He's doing an incredible job, along with the players, with a good squad. How about turning it into a great squad? You have the power to do that. I'm putting it on the Cons to make it happen. Back the manager. Number one final time, Fulham have turned the corner, so the Cons need to back Marco in January. I fully believe that they need to do this. We all deserve this. Anyways, well, that's going to do it for this episode of Cottage Talk. As always, please do subscribe on YouTube and Apple Podcasts. It does help other Fulham supporters find us. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. My name is Russ Goldman. Thank you as always for watching and listening to Cottage Talk, part of the talkSPORT Fan Network.